Good evening, everybody, at least from the East Coast. And if you're not on the East Coast, then it's probably not a good evening for you, but I'm hoping you're enjoying your life and your time wherever you happen to be in this world. I'm Agro. I'm your host for tonight's adventures in Splinterlands. This is our town hall. Um, I'm the founder and CEO, and this is my voice. And I'm going to be joined by a whole bunch of different guests this evening. Some of the we are in our post Splinterfest sort of like readjustment period where the the good times of hanging out in person and staying out late and doing all the troublemaking out in Las Vegas has come to an end. We've all gone back home and we're all trying to get back into our routine as best we can after having had such a wonderful and lovely time together. um let's dive quickly into a team stand up here. um and here, we just like to kind of give you guys a table of contents of what's coming up. So if in this order, Cryptomancer, Liam, Nate, and WeirdBeard, if you guys just want to, quickly describe what you'll be talking about later today, I think that help clue on the audience as to what's on the docket for tonight.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cryptomancer, one of the core devs for Splinterlands, and I'll be giving an update on Brawl SPS rewards.
This is Nate, VP of Creative. Just going to talk creative stuff, maybe a little bit of Runi.
This is Liam or Chatter. I'm going to be going over some new ventures and just everything launch related to Splinterlands.
Hey, what's up? My name's WeirdBeard, and we're talking about Splinterfest and Splinterlands Open tournaments.
Nice. All right, so that should give you a quick sense of what's going on in the Splinterlands world. We also have two guests. The first guest is a whale that you might know. He's been here forever. Actually, both of these folks have. We got Cryptoeater here, who's going to talk about Aqualis DAO. And then we also have Neal McSpadden, who's going to come on later and sort of just give us an update from his perspective on some of the on the newest proposal and what's going on there. So, hey, Cryptoeater, are you here? Can you go talk to us about this thing called Aqualis?
Yeah, hey Aggie. Thanks everyone for this opportunity to come here. I'll give a quick overview now since I know it's have like a 10-minute thing coming up later. But yeah, it's basically Aqualis DAO is a DeFi protocol on Ethereum. It's going to have some AMM capabilities and a lending protocol. And yeah, excited to share with you guys what that's all about.
So, I mean, we don't normally talk about DeFi and lending and protocols and Ethereum on the show. So maybe you can kind of walk us through, maybe just a quick background of who you are and how you've been engaged in the Splinterlands community, and then maybe describe for us a little bit about what the tie-in is between the Splinterlands community and this Aqualis DAO.
Yeah, sure. So with Splinterlands, I have been involved in this community since basically day one. In preparation for today, I was actually looking through some of our early Discord messages through you and I and Matt and I. And yeah, we've been basically talking since launch. And what really hooked me was basically when everything launched, you guys were very, I guess, open and took up a lot of suggestions. So yeah, that's where my involvement in the community has started 4.5 years ago. And how this really ties in with the Splinterlands community is, for example, Matt is one of the advisors on our board. He's helped a lot from the beginning, from the marketing side of things, and even just with suggestions. And also, usually Ethereum and DeFi isn't something that is related to Splinterlands. However, we think that's actually kind of like a benefit. Once Aqualis has our own little community, if we become a successful protocol on Ethereum and DeFi, we'll undoubtedly be trying to bring over people back into the Splinterlands ecosystem, since that's basically where this whole thing started. It's the only reason I got into DeFi to begin with is because SPS launched, and that kind of forced me to get into the whole like liquidity pools and all that. So yeah, that's basically the tie-in.
Okay. So kind of like OG Mav starts messing around with DeFi and DAOs on Ethereum.
Precisely.
So then like what what makes this platform any different, or why would somebody care about this one in particular as opposed to like the myriad of other DAOs and DeFi platforms that exist on Ethereum?
Yep, great question. So our biggest selling feature or selling point would be our unique, what we call a asset multi-utilization algorithm. What this essentially allows us to do is users will be able to deposit their, for example, stable coins into one pool of funds, and our smart contracts will dynamically allocate this across multiple features. So our phase one launch, which is planned to be in about January, we'll have a autonomous market maker for stable coins with no price impact, and we'll also have a lending protocol. So users will be able to deposit their stable coins into our trading platform. So for stable coins, and whenever there's not enough utilization, or if our TVL for the stablecoin pool gets a little bit too high, our system is able to dynamically allocate those funds to the lending part. So users don't have to go around and move their funds manually to chase the best yield farming rewards. And simultaneously, you'll be able to earn revenue from two sources by depositing into one pool. You can just set and forget. And yeah, so with that, it unlocks a new level of capital efficiency. Since right now, with things like Uniswap and Aave and all of those different platforms on Ethereum, it's not really efficient because, for example, you need a lot of liquidity on Uniswap to trade efficiently with with minimum price impact, which makes sense for things like Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's price volatility, but we believe with stable coins there shouldn't actually be a price impact feature, since it's not made to be something that's volatile. And every time there's a large purchase, the price actually changes a little bit. And someone who maybe does like a $50,000 transaction on PancakeSwap, I'm not sure if anyone's done that, but you'll notice that you actually lose usually like $100 or more just to the price impact portion of the fees. And all that's doing is feeding arbitrage bots. It's not really contributing anything to you, to the ecosystem. It's literally just feeding bots extra money. And, we're against feeding bots money here. Yeah.
All right. So you use a lot of future tense words. What's currently built and what is currently deployed, and when do you expect the whole platform to be up and ready and running and good to go?
Yep. So at the moment, our multi-asset liquidity pool, so our trading structure is already fully complete. That's currently undergoing testing. Our staking is complete. That's all integrated into Snapshot for governance voting. Our reward structure for staking is currently in development, and our lending protocol is also in development. With lending, we're actually considering a couple different approaches. There's a service out there that basically does lending as a service. They provide everything for you, fully audited, and they provide a technical support team. And that can be done in about 5 to 7 days. But honestly, we do prefer to build our own infrastructure, have our own smart contracts that we control the keys to. And that so far has been estimated to be done in about a month to a month and a half, depending on technicalities. We will be forking some battle tested code out of Aave. And yeah, so that actually reduces development time significantly due to their open source code. But we do actually need about a month or so just for our team to get used to the parameters, how to initialize everything, and how to deploy it. And after that's done, we do expect about a month to go through audits. So we're already in talks with a few third-party auditing firms. And yeah, we do expect that to be probably a month. And at this stage, we're tentatively expecting a launch in January next year. So like everything's fully launched by then.
What do you guys have for like initial liquidity in this thing to get the whole thing started? Do you have like a network of whales, or where did that come from?
Network of whales. So at the moment, it's just me funding this whole thing. That's why we do have a whitelist sale a registration that's currently ongoing, and we are looking for seed funding. At the moment, it is a little bit difficult with the market. We understand there's not really any VCs out there chasing blockchain opportunities. If we launched maybe last year this time, we mentioned blockchain, and funds would just get thrown at us. But after the whole like Luna fiasco and market downturn, it's been quite difficult in securing funding. So at this stage, I am prepared to basically fully fund this thing myself if we don't get funding. But of course, if we do receive the funding we require, we'll be able to accelerate development. And that's ultimately our goal. It's to position ourselves to be really able to take advantage of the next bull run. We don't want to be developing still during the next bull run. We don't want to be still preparing ourselves. We want to be a platform that's been operational for a few months, tested some things, everything looks good in production, and then really position ourselves as one of the leaders in DeFi during the next bull run.
Rock on. Anything that I missed that you want to throw in there?
Well, I do have a probably like almost 10-minute presentation when it's actually my turn. So I think I'll just leave it to that. Thank you very much.
Sure. Great. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking about it, and thanks for being an OG. I mean, you've been here forever. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Rock on. All right, my next guest here is somebody again that probably needs no introduction, but let's give one to him anyways. This is Neal McSpadden. Neal is not only one of the OG whales and has been here forever. He also runs he's a streamer for us, and he runs the Monster Maverick show, and that's one of the most listened to shows out of all the streams. And I ask folks, I think it's safe for me to say that Neal does not represent the DAO. He does not represent the community. He does not represent a lot of things. He's just here as Neal. And he's somebody that I've done a lot of like personal business with, and I've done a lot of work with Neal, and have tried to figure out lots of different pieces. And when I'm confused or when I'm trying to figure things out, he's usually the first person in my Rolodex that I'll go ask questions to. So we have some proposals coming up, and I think it's important to get some community voices. And in particular, I think this is one of the oftentimes they'll say, follow the smart money or see what the smart money is doing. I tend to think of Neal as the smart money in this community. And so I like to go hear what he has to go say, because I think he can help guide us or help us figure things out. Neal, did I miss anything in an introduction for you? I guess I should say that you do crypto tax work in the United States. So if somebody is looking for a tax accountant, you would come highly recommended by me. Anything else that I missed than that?
No, I think you covered it. So we had one of these segments a couple weeks ago about the proposals that were live then, and there was some pushback in the Discord saying that, oh, Neal doesn't speak for me. And you're right, I don't speak for you. I'm just speaking for myself as someone who's been around, who is heavily invested in the Splinterlands ecosystem, and telling it like I see it, basically.
I'm trying to share that too, that Neal is not here to speak for everybody. He's here to speak for himself. But I personally benefit greatly by his perspective, and then I feel like it's advantageous for other people to hear it as well, not just on his show, but in this town hall, so that we can talk about some of the proposals. Anything you want to? You were saying something, but feel free to go on and talk about the proposal when you're up for it.
Yeah. I just want to say I try to be fair and open-minded with everything, but obviously we all have our internal biases. But I try to do my best to be as objective as possible. So the current proposal that is not even live on the proposal site yet is to change the rewards that are earned by cards that are competing at more than 2 leagues above their caps. So that's a little bit confusing, I think. But basically, for every league, for novice, bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and champion, there are summoner caps, and based on that summoner, you can summon monsters of a given level, depending on the rarities. So if you are in silver, the caps are 5, 4, 3, 2. Level 5 commons, level 4 rares, level 3 summoner, or level 3 epics, level 2 legendaries. If you're in diamond, it's maximum across the board. And what this proposal is doing is saying, okay, if you have a summoner or a monster that is more than 2 leagues below, or I guess 2 or more leagues below the cap for that league, then your reward shares for winning a battle are going to be reduced. And this is, anytime you talk about reducing rewards, people tend to, have extreme reactions because, you're messing with, their economics. So, I before I go into my whole spiel about it, do you want to talk about why the team proposed this and what you hope to achieve?
Yeah. So this, I look at this as like a 4-year-old exploit in the game, right? Like we've tried addressing this with things like collection power, but it turns out collection power is one really clunky to run for the team. It's expensive and it's a challenge to like keep it updated and operating. And it's not the world's best like measurement. It's sort of like, well, let's look at your entire collection and see if it's appropriate or not. And oftentimes I think we could get away with, like, rather than tracking every single card in your collection, why don't we just look at the cards you're using in that particular match and say something like, are the cards level appropriate or not? And on the one hand, we want to celebrate high level skill, right? And so if you're like a newer player and you're using all level 1 cards and you're pushing up in rank because the algorithm is pushing you higher, like that's great. But at some point, the amount of rewards that you should be able to take out of the pool need to be reflective of the actual like card levels that you have. And I've said for a while, this is a game that's proof of time, proof of skill, and proof of deck quality. And one of the ways that we can limit, or ensure that your deck quality is high is say, yes, you can play and yes, you can win. But if you're winning with lower level cards, we're going to reduce the value that you get. And honestly, this started with the biggest problem was really looking at like ghost cards, and ghost cards were earning forever. And it was basically, a bot's dream that you could buy a card once with part of the starter pack, never buy anything again, and just continuously take rewards out, take rewards out of the system. But I think what would be better is if, everybody has to level up cards and own higher quality cards in order to go maximize their rewards. So this plan didn't originate with me. I wouldn't say that this one is my baby. But when I heard it, I'm like, yeah, this thing makes a ton of sense. And it seems to be like more favorable and more reasonable in terms of like, how we track things to make it a good system. Is that what you were looking for? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the point of view that you're bringing here. So to me, this is not an actual fix. It's kind of a patch on the core issue that is the fact that the rating system or the ranking system, is inflationary just by its nature. So, you can have a 50-50 record, or you can have actually a slightly losing record, like a 45-55. And you go up in ranking over the course of the season because of just coin flip. You'll hit a win streak here and there, and the bonuses bring you up higher. And when we have the the low level farmers who are running like level 1 accounts or bronze accounts, they're able to get up into gold or diamond or whatever by the end of the season. So like, if it were up to me, like if I could wave a magic wand, I would say we totally change the ranking system so that this isn't an issue anymore. But obviously I don't have that magic wand. So I understand where you guys are coming from to working within the structure that we have, this is a tweak that'll get us a good way there to address that issue. So the good thing I think I see about this proposal is that it won't change anything for season rewards, but it will change the daily battle rewards. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have a bronze account. You battle, you get up into silver, not penalized with anything under this proposal. You battle. By the end of the season, assuming that you're able to get there, if you get into gold 3 on that last day of the season, or even the last battle of the season, then you're locking in gold chest rewards for the following season. So I see that as being probably the primary strategy of those of people farming at low levels. But what happens is that there's no advantage to moving up to gold 3 before then. So it limits the amount of battle ranking inflation that occurs before the end of season. And so that will reduce the amount of low-level accounts in higher leagues, which will increase the pool for the rest of the people in those leagues that have those appropriate cards that can battle throughout the season. So there's a lot of moving parts that are going on here. And one of the things that I did, so in the, I forget what the channel's called, card-level-rewards in the, what do you call it, in the section, in the DAO proposals, like submenu on the Discord, I posted I posted a link to a form for people to fill out so that I could kind of gauge community opinions. Unfortunately, only 4 people filled it out. So, but we got some comments, and they were kind of across the board. So 1 strongly disagree with the proposal, 1 middle of the road, and 2 strongly agrees. The strongly agrees are in favor. They're saying that it's good to not penalize cards anymore. It'll be good for the economy. It'll be good for card value because those the masses of low-level farmers are extracting at the expense of everybody else. Somebody in the middle of the road saying that it seems that kind of what I was saying, that it's mostly rating inflation. Why not address that directly instead? More refinements would be needed. And the person who's saying strongly disagrees, saying that I'm told this proposal will fix some in the game. What is sustainable, and does this change seek to rectify the unsustainability through decreasing overall rewards? And so I think what a lot of people are misapprehending. Exactly. So total rewards don't change. So if you're playing in a league that is within 1 league up of where the majority of your cards are, then nothing changes. And chances are, we don't know this because markets are dynamic and all that kind of stuff. Chances are that the per account winnings from the battle rewards will actually go up, because at least in the higher leagues, because there'll be less of those lower level accounts competing in that pool. But that's it's like I said, it's a hard thing to get your mind around because there's so many moving parts to this. And there's also the question of fairness, right? So let's say I am a phenomenal player and I'm able to compete in Diamond with a bronze level deck. Why should I be punished for that? And my take on it is that you might win a battle here and there, but you're not justifiably beating diamond level decks consistently with a bronze level deck. But what will happen a lot, I think, is that you have a competitive deck with whatever league you're in, and you'll have a level 1 legendary of some sort. Like a lot of people have level 1 Kron, and in those cases, for those battles, you will have a small penalty for your R shares, for that win. But it's small. It's like 3 to 6%, kind of small. And that's 1 battle amongst many throughout the course of the season. So overall, I think it's a good proposal. I think it's a it will get us, part of the way there to addressing, the exploit kind of that you were talking about. I don't think it's a complete fix though. So I would imagine that there will be, future tweaks down the road.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the people that really want this to stay are really just the people that are exploiting the system. They're the people with level 1 cards that are able to extract a bunch of value, don't want to have to level up their cards, and that goes against the spirit of the game. The spirit of the game is that everybody levels. I mean, there's a lot of cards on the market, so don't get me wrong. It's not like this goes directly into Splinterlands coffers anytime soon. It goes directly to people buying, like, if you are listening, it's people buying your cards that you are listing for sale. That's what we're trying to have happen here. And if you just let the level ones, get maximum earnings, then there's zero incentive to do that. Why would I buy a level 5 card if I could get the same result with a level 1 card? So, there's ways that we can look into doing that. And one, people keep talking about the rating system. That's something that we can look into, but it's like a mixed thing. We want people to be feeling like they're moving up. So that's part of why the reward system or the ranking system incentivizes that, or like allows it. But we don't want that to happen at the expense of, oh, well, not only do you get to rank up, but you get to maximize your rewards without spending anything. And that's probably not in the best interest of the community. So I can share that I'm strongly in favor of this. I don't think that I'm gonna nuke it with my entire SP stack or my entire SPS allotment, but I'm definitely in favor of this and hope that the community passes it.
Yeah, I will add
is
one
that,
other
is that
thing.
where you fall to, Neal?
Yeah, I'll be voting for it. My stack is not as big as yours, so there's that. But the people. So I mean, we have different interest groups within the community, right? There's people who are in it strictly for ROI. There are people who like playing the game. There's people who want to play tournaments, and all different kinds of sub communities within Splinterlands. But the incentive, that you guys have been saying from day one, should always be to level up cards, and that has not been the case, really until we got the structured SPS payouts. That was the first time that we've seen like really focused effort to make sure that you are incentivized to level up, because the costs related to building a higher level deck go up exponentially compared to lower decks. So before that, it was always better to spread out into multiple accounts than it was to build up one account. So I'm optimistic that this will be another step along the road to getting people to focus on building up one account first. And if you have as many cards as I do, then you can run like 10 max level decks, and that's fine. But going from level 1 and having 1,000 of them is probably not in the best interest of everybody around.
All right, Neal. Well, I appreciate you coming on to share some of your thoughts. Again, this is just in case you're easily offended. Neal is not here to speak for you. He's just here to speak on his own behalf. He is like an external third party. I think of it as an external third party advisor, and as I try to think through some of the most challenging questions within the Splinterlands, Neal is sort of my go-to person. And so I just thought that rather than have that be sort of just me and Neal talking just for ourselves, I thought that I would share some of that with the community and have you hear the conversations that I would have had with Neal anyways. But now it's just open in public, and everybody gets to the sense of, what do we discuss, and how do some of the whales think about this? And now you can hear some of these thoughts and use that to make up your own mind about how you feel about these proposals. But please educate yourself and think it through and have some of these conversations on your own. And after you've done that a bit, please go to the SPS management page and vote on the proposal, and let's see where you guys land. So thanks for coming on, Neal, and thanks for sharing your thoughts and ideas on the current proposal.
Always good. Thanks.
I think it was muted. But okay, we're gonna move on. So I want to go do a marketing update, and then following that, we'll do Brawlhalla. But I know that Chatter is on a little bit of a short time, in part because I'm doing everything I can humanly possible to keep this man as busy as possible. Uh, so, so I'm hoping that you can just sort of like walk us through what's going on, and what should we be excited about, and what's happening out there, and tell me all the stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's been a super busy time for pretty sure everyone in the company with all the launches going on as of late. For me today, it's going to be kind of similar stuff that everyone's heard from us as of late. GLG, or Genesis League Goals, our new game with the Major League Soccer Players Association. Pack sale is going to be going live as of 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So super exciting for us. It's been a huge push to get that across the line, and that's actually why I have a bit of a shorter schedule here today. I need to finish setting up all the attribution and everything on the back end. But big things to note, it's going to be going live at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The actual website is going to be opened up at 9 a.m. tomorrow so that people can do all of their KYC. They can go in and create their accounts, so on and so forth. Super excited for that launch. Huge credit to 16-Bit. He's already sold, I think, $550,000 worth of sales or something like that in the pre-sales. So huge shout out to him. Other things to cover. Runi launch, the initial mint date is going to be on October 25th. We have an exclusive partner for that launch, so keep a lookout for that. We should be announcing hopefully within the next week or so there. Otherwise, there'll be a few kind of subsequent mints. We're going to be doing the private sale for all the whitelist spots on the 25th, and then the general sale we're looking at November 3rd for the Runi launch there. I think we've done almost 100 AMAs between myself, PJ, 16-Bit, and Egg. So big thank you to all those people for helping push this, as well as the community.
Hold on, that's a small change. So will you just repeat that again and sort of walk us through that? Like what just happened?
Yeah, so I mean, the past two and a half months, we've been trying to push Runi out the door as much as we possibly can, and all those AMAs that we've been doing, we're almost at about 100 in 2 months' time now between 4 people so far. So it's been averaging about one a day right now, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, not just that, but also like the minting schedule. So all of the Runis were supposed to be minted on October 25th, but it doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen. So can you walk me through that one more time, just in case somebody was only paying half attention?
Definitely. So with the Runi, we're going to do all the whitelist spots are going to be starting to mint on October 25th for the people who bought off Splinterlands using vouchers. There's going to be a subsequent mint from that, which is probably going to be looking at the 27th, and we'll confirm timing for that. Those are for people who either have got a whitelist spot from any of the AMAs we were just talking about, which is going to be a full price Runi mint, but just a guaranteed reservation. And then there's also going to be the people who win the ARG stuff, the augmented reality gaming that we're going to be hosting in our Discord. That contest is going to have 10 winners for it. Each one of those winners are going to get a free mint. I'm going to be announcing a bit more about that later on, hopefully in the next kind of day or two here. But we're looking at either a Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon launch for the ARG. You don't need anything to enter. It's going to be completely free to enter and to actually kind of participate in the contest. How that's going to work is we're going to have a whole lore story posted. Big credit to all the creative team and Nate's side of things, as well as Joey for getting the lore written in his team. But we're going to be posting that lore on the back of it. The kind of main protagonist, which is going to be you, is put in a little bit of a hairy predicament. You're going to have to go through 10 different puzzles to try and get them out. First 10 people to get all those 10 puzzles correct. It's all going to be done in our Discord, just with a bot that Yemo has set up for us, just a Q&A bot. First 10 people there are going to win a free Runi mint. So that's going to be huge for us. There's going to be another 100 packs given out to the subsequent winners who follow in after that. But lots of things happening there. Again, mint schedule, October 25th is going to be the primary one for all the Splinterlands whitelist spots for Runi. October 27th, we're probably going to be looking at for the ARG and the AMA whitelist spots. And then November 3rd is going to be the general public sale. And a lot of that, and the reason that we're changing, is due to this whole exclusive partnership that we're doing for the mint and the launch there. So lots of really exciting things to kind of look forward to there, but just know that general sale is going to be November 3rd, a week later.
What's the feedback been with the 100 groups that we've been doing the AMAs with? Are they like get lost, you hive losers, or are they like excited for this and like pumped?
So far, it's been really astounding, the amount of kind of overwhelming positive press that's come out of it and just kind of comments that have come out of it. A lot of the really cool comments that we're seeing are more so about how we're doing it and how we built our economy differently, or how our contracts are set up for Runi, where you're going to be staking the actual Runi to get a bridging system over to the game and get the card in game and everything. It's not stuff that's done commonly. And so to be able to be the people who are paving the way through, and I mean, huge kudos to the dev team for creating all of that. It's pretty astounding.
Yeah, and you know, I talked to a handful of PFP projects. I happen to know a few, and I'd ask them like, "Hey, is this something that you'd be interested in doing?" And they say yes. And you know, I haven't like talked about cost or how it might work. I say there might be a fee or something to bring yours into game, because you know, I don't want to dilute, you know, what we built with 8 billion PFP projects. But maybe if there was a cost to bring your PFP in, or maybe if the project itself was staking SPS or something, that's a way that we can invite all of these PFP projects to participate, all with the same rules, no special treatment, except maybe we'll special treat 1 or 2 of them that are absolutely massive. And I don't know, that seems like a fun way to sort of give utility to something that really doesn't have any actual utility. So that seems like fun to me.
Definitely.
And then isn't there something happening tomorrow? Did we talk about this at all yet?
Yeah, so that was the Genesis League goals pack sale that's happening tomorrow. Again, that's 4 p.m. Eastern. That's going out. 9 a.m. You can start creating all of your accounts to do your account creation, KYC, so on and so forth there. And then
and further, we have next week, we should have the airdrop starting. So you guys will want to, you know, be staking your SPS if you want to earn some additional GLX, and you know, check out that pack sale, because if you're excited about, you know, sports NFTs and sports you know, ecosystems and games, then this is like the very beginning of this, and hopefully you guys are excited about that. Don't we have Lux Vega too, right? That's something else that we should be talking about here a little bit.
Yeah, we need to confirm the actual date with Matt still, but there's the Lux Vega card that's going to be going out. So everyone who attended Splinterfest, they're going to be getting the guaranteed pretty much reservation for the card and the discount. That's going to be sent, I believe, directly to your actual in-game wallet to use. So no additional work needed, I believe. I mean, Manser, please quote me or correct me if I'm wrong here, but we'll have more details on that coming out pretty soon. There's going to be 1,000 Lux Vega cards in total as well. And so any cards that aren't purchased by the people that were attending Splinterfest are going to be going on general sale as well. So date's still TBD, and we'll have a big announcement about that, but just know that's coming pretty soon as well.
All right. Yeah. And she's a neutral summoner. Pretty awesome. I hope to have some character things built around her. Yeah, I have a special pet project that I might need to go disclose more about, but we'll see. I don't think that's tonight, but that's coming. Okay. And then what else? Is there more? Do we have more? Like we're like spouting off 6 different big things. Are there other big things that we want to talk about here?
Lots of partnerships that are like very close to closing right now that we can't discuss quite yet, but those are all going to be pretty big and affect every single one of our games in the ecosystem, whether that's Splinterlands, GLG, or any kind of future projects. Splinterfest, huge success. We're going to be making it bigger and better next time. One note on that is just the people who won any of the placements in the tournaments, all the land is being sent out either today or tomorrow, I believe, by Biz. And then the 5 winners who won the contest for the scavenger hunt, the land's going to be sent out in the next 2 days as well. I'll post the winners in the chat here in just a second.
Okay. And then, you know, I know that WeirdBeard wants to talk about Splinterfest. So maybe we should bring him on, and I don't know if there's other stuff. I want to catch your opinion too, because the 2 of you were instrumental in doing that, but I don't want to steal his thunder as he talks about it. So I know you have to leave soon. Try not to go anywhere for like the next 5 minutes, and let's see if there's anything else that we want to bring in as WeirdBeard kind of talks about Splinterfest and Brawlhalla and all the things. WeirdBeard, how the hell are you?
I'm feeling better. I got sick after Splinterfest, so I'm finally like back in the saddle at this point.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that got sick, so it's possible that there's just like a lot of mono that we passed around within our own community. But here's hoping that it's just some things that happen in Vegas actually come home with you, including viruses and illnesses and all that.
Next time they can keep it. But yeah, we're coming off of Splinterfest in the Coliseum of Chaos. I have to ask you first, what did you think? It was the first like in-person tournament from my understanding that you got to be able to see. I know you saw one of the finals kind of take place in person, like right up close. How did it feel?
So I was standing at the edge when the like last matches were being played. So there's a delay between the actual matches and like what we play up on the screen. It wasn't that long, but it was fun being down in the pit. There were probably like 30 folks down there that were all kind of like watching the outcomes and tracking, what's the current breakdown, who's up, who's down, what are the rule matches or the match rules and all that, and just trying to figure out like what's happening. And I was excited. I knew that was Splinterlands history being made. Like that was in my brain. I am watching Splinterlands history get made right now. And that was fun. That was very rewarding. And in fact, I'm even getting like a little goosebumpy right now thinking about it.
Yeah,
So,
it was good. I think like more than anything else, it wasn't the culmination, right? Like it wasn't the pinnacle of where we want it to be. There's still lots of things to like grow and evolve with our live tournaments. Next time getting them on stage is very important, I think. To be able to not only do interviews, but like see them selecting teams and be able to bring them on there and everything like that. But for what it was, I think it was pretty crazy. Like there was a couple of pop-off moments where you could hear like the people playing the game start screaming, and then like you said, that delay of like 2 minutes, all of a sudden it goes on the big screen and everybody in the crowd starts screaming too, which was pretty great. So we had a total of around 140 people, I believe, compete in the Splinterfest tournaments. We're still waiting on data to get back. That's something that I'm really excited to be able to talk about here in the upcoming town hall, is going through some of that data. If all cards are available, everybody gets to play them for certain tournaments. What saw the most play? And if there was anything that had an extremely high winning percentage, I think that'll be really cool to be able to dig through and see what was going on with that. But along with that, we also had, I got to be able to give shout outs to people like Aftersound, Bulldog, and Luthien, who were live in booth for us.
yeah, they were awesome.
Very first time doing live event stuff like that. We had some hiccups with production here and there, but those guys rocked it, especially again for being their first time doing live stuff. It's not easy. It doesn't matter how many Twitch streams you've done. There is nothing compared to having somebody in your ear being like, okay, we're going to camera 4. Now keep talking. Now toss down to WeirdBeard. Now back from WeirdBeard. And like, it's a whole skill set. So, it's going to be enjoyable to not only see them do more of it, but build a kind of roster of people that we have coming up. Yeah, so Splinterfest was a lot of fun. Looking forward, we still have a Splinterlands Open tournament that the public is able to enter. It's coming up on the 28th of this month. The tournament is live right now. If you go to the tournament pages or the event pages for upcoming, it is a gold modern tournament. So you'll see it. It's called the Gold Modern League Splinterlands Open Tournament. There are no staked SPS requirements. There's no CP requirements to be able to get in there. It's come one, come all.
There is one requirement that's
There
pretty
is
different than
one.
what we normally do. And it's KYC, know your
Correct.
customer. People actually have to like identify themselves, tell us who they are.
Yeah.
And that's not normal for us. Are we now shills for the government? Are we gonna like turn in everybody that like is this just going directly to Gary Gensler? Like, how is all of this working?
Well, me and Zuck, we're BFFs, but he's on the side for this project. We're doing KYC for the Splinterlands Open tournaments only, and the reason why is because there's no staking requirements, meaning that we don't want it flooded with bots. We don't want people to go in there that are making multiple accounts, because this is supposed to be A, skill based, and B, we also want to make it so that it's attainable by players who normally aren't able to enter into these different tournaments. You should be able to with these Splinterlands Open tournaments, as long as you have a KYC account and you have a spellbook account or a spellbook tied to your account. you can enter into these tournaments and rock out, which is going to be pretty exciting. They're not coming to the normal tournaments. You don't have to worry about KYCing for all tournaments. If it's something that you're not interested in, every other tournament is still non-KYC free. And again, it's just to make it so that things don't get flooded with all kinds of non-human players in that specific instance.
And have you talked this through with Dota and just like what is the security around having people's real names, real IDs, real anything? Like, is this been vetted by our security people to make sure that we're not going to be the next like Cloudflare hack, or like, well, I forget what the last big one was, but like, you know, somebody exposes 150 million IDs and passwords and all this crap.
Yes.
Are we going to be on the news next for that, or how do we make sure that we're not?
So remember, Splinterlands open tournaments were built with KYC in mind, right? Like this is something that we already knew ahead of time. When 6 months ago I started complaining to developers and security and all kinds of people, you know, about this, because we knew from even just whiteboarding this idea, it wasn't going to work if we didn't have some sort of system up front put in there to make it so that human players were the ones that were entering into these tournaments and not a massive flood of bots. You know, KYC is handled by a third-party company for us. We don't store any data. We're not keeping like your birth certificate or anything like that. You know, it's just more the quick, hey, we're taking the baby steps towards making it so that it's for specific tournaments that are like, we want humans only, and we're highlighting human only play that's like skill based. You know, no, KYC is the first baby step. I don't know if it's the last step, but as of right now, it's again in such a small sliver. We have to be able to do something to be able to find out if we can do anything else.
Yeah, one thing to note is that we think some of the sponsors are going to want this too. Where they're like,
I promise you from conversations they do, because if they're giving us $25,000 for a prize, or they're saying, hey, we want to sponsor an online tournament, if we can't go back and guarantee them that like humans are the ones interacting with stuff, they are not interested whatsoever. Like when stuff gets botted out, it just looks not great, not only for us, but also, again, like you said, for those partners and sponsors. And if we're going after Web 2, like normally traditionally endemic gaming companies, the conversations we have around botting and bots in this community is a world away from the acceptable conversations in like mainstream gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's again, I'll just put a nice little bow on it. It's for specific tournaments, not for everything. If you do not like KYC, I totally empathize with you. That's why we're leaving 99% of all tournaments with non-KYC options for those who would like to compete in an environment that has a little bit stricter, you know, filtering on who's competing and what the entry requirements are. These Splinterlands open and KYC tournaments are going to be, again, very small portion, but available for those of you who are interested.
Rock on.
Outside of that as well, we just finished up the last season. Recently, we saw another uptick in community tournament participation. We are currently going through our tournament partnership whitelist for people who are going to be able to make tournaments without paying that creation fee. We're going to announce by the end of the month all of our tournament partners and people who are going to be able to get involved, hopefully be making more of those tournaments and you know, benefiting the community. And then we also have some other fun stuff that we're trying to work on starting next week, because we currently are current with our tournaments up to the end of this week. Next week, Rift Watchers will be added to certain tournaments moving forward, including our Scarred Hand Cups, which are like Chaos Legion only right now. Moving forward, there'll be Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers. We'll also update modern tournaments. And hopefully we'll be able to knock out Brawls and add Rift Watchers into modern Brawls ASAP as well.
Rock on. Anything else on your radar to get out tonight?
I'm so proud of the people that competed in the tournaments. I feel like I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off during all of Splinterfest, and I probably said I appreciate you to too many people. But like it was such a huge thing to be there for players and community members, and I hope that people understand that everything that I'm doing here is for players and to make the tournaments that they want. And I know everybody wasn't 100% happy with how the Coliseum of Chaos went, and I'm working hard to make sure that our next one's even better. You know, we do want to compete with Hearthstone. We do want to compete with, you know, like Magic the Gathering. We want to be able to compete with all these other huge TCG games and their in-person tournaments. And you know, I believe perfection's the only answer that I can really deliver, and we didn't do that this time. And so I apologize, and we're going to get it better next time.
Yeah, I mean, with that disclaimer present, you know, for the first event that's live, we freaking killed it, and I'm thrilled. And I thought you were a fantastic host. And you know, the like feedback that I've gotten, it has not been like categorized yet through email and like you know surveys. It's just all anecdotal, and everybody was like, I think I met one person who is like lukewarm about the event, and literally everybody else was like, this was fantastic and amazing. So, you know, kudos to you, and kudos to Liam and that whole team. There was a whole team of people that put that together, and just you guys did great.
Thank you. And I'll say, because you're on here, and I'll nail you down in front of everybody. We got momentum now. You know what I mean? Like, we saw that this could be an esport. When I first joined, I remember how many people laughed, and they were like, ha, an esport for a game where you have to buy the cards. It's impossible. And now it's like, I hope that people are starting to see the vision. And that means internally, I hope to be able to, you know, really keep everybody's feet to the fire and continue the improvements and build out what we need to make this kick ass. All right, that's all. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm on board. All right. Anyways, WeirdBeard, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're like helping with brawls and tournaments, and you're killing it out there. So thanks for your time and energy that you put into this company.
No, thank you.
Rock on. Okay. So next up, I think we have some words from Wizards, and so I have the great pleasure to go kind of walk it through with Cryptomancer and just kind of talk about you're back from the States, back in your home country, and ready to go like pound some keyboards, type some code, and you know, what were you doing, and now what are you going to be doing, and when can we expect it? Because everybody's excited for the stuff that you do.
Howdy, folks. So first off, I just want to say I had an absolute blast getting to meet many of you at Splinterfest. I think the whole event went really well, and it was just amazing to see everyone coming together from all over the world and getting together and doing Splinterlands.
Did you like giving out your card and signing your card and all that? Was that
I
fun?
did, yes. Yep, I enjoyed giving out the cards to everyone who was there, so I hope you all picked one up. And,
awesome.
I stayed in Vegas for a few days after Splinterfest just to see the sights, do some of the shows. I just got back to Japan a couple days ago, so I've been settling in and getting over the jet lag, and now I'm back in action.
All right. So what like, you know, you were traveling a bit, and then you were traveling to Vegas for a bit, and now you're sort of like back in the saddle. Like, what are your highest priorities? What are you going to try to crank out, and what sort of things should we expect?
All right, so my highest priority is to get Brawl SPS rewards out. That's what I was working on before I left for Splinterfest, and so I'll be picking that up again. And the coding for that is finished and has been finished for a while, but the coding of a new feature is not the end-all, be-all of the process. There's some additional steps we have to go through to actually release it. And that was kind of on hold while I was off in the US. So now that I'm back, I'm hoping we can push that across the finish line. And in particular, we still want to do an SPS governance vote to decide the actual numbers for the breakdown of how much SPS is going to be distributed to each Brawl tier. And on a previous town hall, I showed you guys a screenshot with some numbers. And there's been some further internal discussion on exactly what those numbers will be. So I think what ends up in the final proposal is potentially going to be different from what I've shown previously. We do have a proposal drafted, but it needs to go through some tweaks and adjustments now before we finally publish that out for you guys to take a look at. So I'm hopeful that we'll get that out there soon so people can vote on it. And then once the actual vote has happened, then Brawl SPS Rewards needs to go through the QA testing process before it can finally be released. So at the moment, we don't have an exact timeline for when that's going to happen. My hope is that it will be soon, but I can't give any dates at this point. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you think that's before the end of the year?
Definitely before the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen this month. I think that's a little too soon because we still need to give time for this governance vote process to play out. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it will be sometime in November. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So that's sort of like, that has been coded and now we're trying to tweak it for the like final settings of what's going to launch. What else are you coding that's going to be like net new to the game that maybe we haven't talked about before yet, or kind of like what else is on your docket, or is that all of it?
There's also some additional Brawl changes that we'd like to make. So as I've mentioned previously, there's the change to make Bloodstones and Power Stones for sale for vouchers rather than merits. So that's still on the table. That's another thing where the coding is pretty much wrapped up and we just need to figure out how to actually release it. And then we also want to make some adjustments to fray composition. So I need to have a conversation with WeirdBeard and Byzantinist and kind of see where we're at with the planning for that, so we can reach some consensus on what changes need to be made. And then there's adding Rift Watchers into the phrase as well. So we need to see how that's going to work out. After these sorts of Brawl things are done, I don't have any other big projects on my radar yet. Maybe I'll move into something related to land. Maybe it'll be something else. We still need to figure out what I'm going to be working on next.
Do you have like a project that you want to be working on next?
I'd love to be put on land. I've always seen a lot of promise in land and wanted to work on that eventually.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty natural fit. The one other thing, the only other like voucher related thing that I haven't heard is potentially vouchers for tournament payments. That's been thrown around a couple times. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's an excellent idea. The more ways we can have for allowing flexibility in tournament entry, the better, as far as I'm concerned. And adding vouchers as an entry requirement, I don't think that's a major project. That's a fairly minor thing that we can bang out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Like the taking more vouchers out of circulation. We got to figure out like how to value them or how to price them or something. But I think that'd be good for this community, and I think they'd like to see that. So
definitely, the more things we can have, the better.
Yeah, we should give it a try. Okay, let's see. I think that's pretty good for now. Anything else that you want to share, or have we covered the main things, or anything else on your brain?
We also have the Osher airdrop coming up for Rift Watchers, and that's something that I'll be taking a look at this week. So we know people have been waiting for that, and we hope to have that out fairly shortly.
Yeah, so it's to me it sounds like we have some cleanup work to do on a couple different things, and a couple little minor projects here and there that hopefully I don't know if that takes you to like the end of November or something, but this is I feel like let's get you back in the rhythm, get you back in the saddle. You've been traveling a lot. Let's do a couple like quick fix, short-term project stuff, and then let's go give you some kind of monster to code up next. That's my general thinking. Does that feel about right?
Yep, I think that's basically the plan. Polish off all this miscellaneous Brawl stuff, and then we'll see what's next.
Sweet. All right, Mancer. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to us. Great to meet you in person. And who knows? Maybe if we do some East Asian Splinterfest or Splinterfest satellite, we'll catch you out there as well.
Splinterfest Tokyo 2023.
Well, I don't know about actually. Yeah, I don't know. I want to. My next one, I think, is the Philippines. There's just so much play to earn activity that's already down there that if we do something internationally, that would be my first thought of where we should go. But we'll see. Nothing is locked in stone. All right. Well, Mancer, thanks for coming here. I want to go switch over to Nate, and I kind of want to do like a creative brief. And this is a challenge because you guys just showed off like a million things. You know, we had like RPG, we had land, we had music and songs. So you guys just like tore through and like shared a million different things. So you know, I don't know what I'm expecting now, but you know, what's the next highest priority for the creative department, and what are you guys working on?
Yeah, we pretty much shotgun to the face all the attendees at Splinterfest. So yeah, I apologize for that, guys. You know, but it does get crazy. Like I think I started off the Splinterfest by saying you're all honorary team members on the creative side, and it gets pretty crazy in some of these creative meetings where we just go off on tangents trying to figure out the best solution creatively, outside the box thinking for all kinds of different things. Some of them are low-hanging fruits and some are more ambitious, and I think some of you might have seen that if you attended. For what we're tackling right now, I think what's in our lap right this second is making sure that the Runi mint and ARG go off relatively smoothly and wonderfully, and everyone's happy. I know recently I was in a Runi planning session, and Jonas, one of the lead devs in the company, had created like, you know, thousands and thousands of different variations of Runi, and we were going through them all at random, and it was like they all look cool. Like, you know, clearly there are some that are more rare and cooler, but no matter what you end up with, I don't think anyone's going to mint their Runi and say, oh, they're going to be like, this is cool. And sure, other people have cooler ones, but I don't think anyone's going to walk away disappointed. And I think so that's nice. But because there are cooler traits out there, you're also kind of motivated to buy some more. So that's like, we got that sweet spot, I think. And that's pretty exciting to see. The other thing we're working on is, of course, the Lux Vega promotion shop page. So you guys just know, hey, we're working on it. It'll be up soon. And then other than that, once we get past that, it's not like we stopped working on it, but it will get all of our focus. Land phase 1. And then in parallel, there's some, you know, we're nearing the end of circulation for certain reward cards. So we're sensitive to that, and we're making sure that some resources are being applied to prepare for what comes next. But ultimately, that's what we're doing. That's what we're focusing on right this second.
So how much everybody wants to know when land, how land, what land, you know, we're after having presented some things at Splinterfest, like how far along do you think you are in the creative development of land in its current iteration? Like if somebody held a gun to your head, could we roll it out now? If you know, do you feel like you need a lot more time, or where are you at in terms of, you know, your thinking of land phase 1 development?
I think that land phase 1, because it's a running joke, right? Even today, even after Splinterfest, even after showing that we're working on it, guys, we still in Mavericks, it's a running gag. Win land soon. It's like, hey, maybe it'll come out next year, the year after, or 20 years, or maybe we'll get some memes where we're all old skeletons and we're still waiting for land. Like, I get it, you know. But ultimately, yeah, you're right. If someone put a gun in my head right now and said, you better release land right now, then it's like, we wouldn't be that far off, actually. I mean, right now we're kind of like polishing things off, trying to tweak things, trying to make land phase 1 as beautiful and as amazing as it possibly can, even without actual gameplay. We want you to like look at your plots of land with pride, survey what's out there, and go, oh man, this is awesome. You hold your head up high, feeling like you're a proud landowner. That's the feeling we want you to have. And I think that, you know, we're very close to achieving that. So we keep saying that it'd be really great to have it launched by the end of the year, and that is still our goal. It hasn't changed. That is our objective. So so far, I don't see a reason why that couldn't happen.
Okay. Okay. That's I should go grab Far Patrol and bring him on again and be like, well, it sounds like you're gonna have all the creative tools you need to get land phase 1 open. So are we ready on the back end? I know it looks like he's listening, so maybe maybe he can chime in on whether or not if it's his thought that we'll be ready for the end of the year as well. Okay, so we went through like a million different things. What else are there other pieces or like other high priorities? We got Runi, Lux, land. What else is on your brain?
Let's see. There is something that I'll mention. If you guys went to the Splinterfest, you know that the hero who brought us physical trading cards and business cards was Reseller, or otherwise known as Blockchain Cards, who might be listening even right now. And he asked if we can kind of throw this in the town hall, and Matt was like, sure, and I was like, sure. So just so you guys know, I think starting today, right now, Blockchain Cards can add more info. There are going to be some Splinterlands related stuff out on, I guess, eBay, and all the proceeds are going to go to charities like American Cancer Society and stuff like that. So if you want to participate, go there and search for Splinterlands stuff. That's just some cool little thing that he's doing. And I was like, okay, it's not officially Splinterlands anything, so we're not getting behind any particular thing or charity organization, but that is something that he's tackling and he's doing, and he was a big part of making Splinterfest a fun, exciting time for everybody. So we said, sure, yeah, we'll give a quick shout out for that. And then the other thing is, if you guys haven't been following along, let me make sure that I have this. This was a couple of weeks ago. This was the lore from then, detailing the coming of the Rift Watchers and what that entailed. It was pretty gripping story, actually. I think there was not a spoiler alert. Someone dies. It's horrible, but very heroic sacrifice and cool stuff is going on. And then here is to celebrate Sure and her part in the narrative, the story, because as you guys are all well aware, that airdrop is coming pretty soon. We don't have a specific date for yet, but it's pretty much around the corner, I believe. So why not celebrate that airdrop happening with a cool story featuring that character? The only other thing I got for you guys is probably the Runi mint. For those of you got a whitelist spot, it's just around the corner. It's next week. It's like in about 1 week, you'll be minting your Runis. So here is another wallpaper to kind of get you in the mood for the Runis. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Something that when you mint your Runi, I just grabbed a Runi at random, so don't put much stock into that. But what I wanted to show you guys is how to identify whether the Runi you minted is a gold foil. So you'll find these little gold flavor corners. Here, I'll post it in here so you guys can see. But if you see a frame that has the little corners then gold, that means you got a gold foil. And you can be like, yes, gold foil. And any particular Runi has a very tiny chance of ending up a gold foil. And we try to make the frame in a way to where it wouldn't be weird if you go make it your avatar on Twitter or Discord or something. We don't want anything that was like in the way of that. So if you crop it into a circle, then we created those corner elements to not interfere with that. So you can still have a cool circular avatar, but still know that you have a gold foil. I don't know. I think that's enough from me. I know we're behind on the question and answer portion and stuff like that, so I'll just cut it short here. And you're muted, Aggie.
Yeah. All right. I really appreciate you putting those together and just kind of cranking this stuff out. I do think that we need to go get some posts out for the things that we revealed during Splinterfest, so that there's like official blogs about them too. You got that in the works for the people?
Actually, yeah. So supposedly, the HyperX Arena, we got apparently the full package deal because the marketing team did such an awesome job at making sure that They had camera angles from every which way, from up above, from down below to the side. And I think there were even cameras right there on the stage when we were talking. It was like looking up at us. I'm like, whoa, look at those things. So there's all kinds of cool footage that I believe will land in our laps. Creative is ready to take post-production work and bring that to the public through marketing, or if marketing has a way to make it, or for all we know, HyperX will just drop us some cool stuff ready to go. So I guess we'll see. I haven't seen the footage yet.
All righty. All right, Nate, thanks for your time. And it's good to catch up. Let's hop over to Hanwise, who's going to go give us a bit of a support tutorial. Can you kind of introduce yourself again, Hanwise, and then just talk us through what some tips and tricks that can save our Splinterlands fam time, effort, money, and sanity.
Yeah, so my name is Hanwise. I am the editor for the guides on the support team, and I'm here to give you your weekly tech tip of the week. So today we're going to be going over the top 10 tips for Splinterlands players who might be new to blockchain gaming. So if you'd like to read the entirety of it, it's available in the help section of our website. I can just drop it in here too for you. All right, so tip 1, as we mentioned last week, not your keys, not your crypto. So keep those keys safe and away from others. Tip number 2, know the dangers of the internet. This includes Discord and Telegram. Remember, the internet is anonymous, and people may not be whom they seem. So this includes support staff. Always check to make sure they are who they say, and know that our staff isn't just going to DM you out of nowhere asking for personal information like your keys or anything like that. So number 3, our staff is here to help though. So if you have anything you want to learn, we are here to teach you. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to us via ticket or on our channels. All right, tip number 4. If you are unsure of how to do a transaction, we always recommend starting with a small amount. So it's better to lose a little bit of learning money than everything if you have sent it to the wrong address or other mistakes that you can make if you're new to the blockchain gaming. Number 5. Along with tip number 1, don't share your keys in the memo of your Hive transactions. You got to remember that blockchain transactions are visible to everyone, as it is a part of the decentralized roots of the blockchain tech. All right, and number 6, this one is pretty self-explanatory, but invest wisely. Do your due diligence and research with your investments. All right, number 7, use basic digital security. So this can mean using VPNs, properly storing all your important info, and not clicking scam links or joining scam groups. If you think you've joined a scam group, you can let us know on Telegram or Discord, and we will let you know it's more than likely a scam if it's another one. Number 8, make sure you trust any third-party websites you plan on using. One of our trusted sites is Peak Monsters, Splinter Cards, and a few others, but always check first. Once again, we're here to help you, so just check and make sure. Number 9, stay up to date with Splinterlands and watch our town hall meetings, like right now. This keeps you in the know on the latest changes and plans. So if you can't watch it at the time, we have them available on Twitch or YouTube. We have all the links up there, so feel free to browse through them. And the final tip, make sure you understand and know the game. Blockchain games are different than other games, and it is imperative for you to understand how to play if you want to maximize your earnings and playing potential. So if you're unsure how to play, you can check out Splinterlands TV, ask around our Discord, or there's also that practice option on the Splinterlands site itself. So that's our top 10 tips of the week. So that sums it up. If you want to check out our guide section, it's in the help area of Splinterlands, and happy battling.
Rock on. Thanks. I appreciate the tips and just sort of keeping everybody up to speed. So let's hop over. I think it's Splinterlands TV time, and maybe we can. I know I got like 8 million tips of the week that I got to go dive through here.
Oh, it's happening.
So, yeah. All right. So let me. We have a lot of these. I don't even want to read all these.
We've got 2 weeks of them.
I know. Okay, so King Koi, we got Lordo, Cimarron and Laz, we got Ode Krieger, Craft Farce after Flick Tervision. That was brutal. You should go put their username in the chat.
No, actually,
Ghostly
that's not a
BG.
real name. I just Googled
you just
really
put
hard
that in.
German words to pronounce.
That makes more sense. Thank you. We got Ghostly BG, Boo Tops. Welcome back to the list, Boo Tops. We got Bushwhack, Ape of Wall Street, Cots Carlo, Luthien, Sean Michael, GT, Javi Saints, and Cryptonius Rex. Those are all the shout outs. Sorry, you guys got all grouped together, but man, it's just great to see that there's that many people that are like steadily watching Splinterlands TV, earning all the channel points to be able to get those shout outs. Like that's fantastic. That's a lot of constant viewership right there.
Absolutely. Those are our diehards. Those are the people that are there through the thick and thin, and it's much appreciated. We appreciate all of our viewers. Guys, listen, you guys are missing a lot of cool stuff here that's been happening on Splinterlands TV. And while I really do wish I could show you guys, I don't know, like 10 clips a week, we only have time for one. So this week's clip of the week is brought to you by Bugs. Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm going to butcher this name.
Turnabout is fair play, Ron.
Well, this is Buns, Bags, and Caps. Yes, that's it. Buns, Bags, and Caps. And he did something special. You guys are going to really enjoy this. He went out and he did something very permanent.
Maybe if I can do it right. There it is. That's what I want clipped right there. Good looking tight biter. There it is. Look at that Quicks, man. That is so well done. Don't you think? Look at the color on the jacket. That little bit of yellow and with that green. It's just so perfect. Like, she did such a good job with this. Like, such a good job.
There we
Nice.
go.
More tattoos. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I got
We
a
got
Quicks.
Yeah. I was able to see Lumacron on the forearms. That was pretty awesome. Now we got a Quicks.
How many
got
tattoos are out there in the wild that you know of?
Well, I know Ken Bozak has one, some like giant Splinterlands logo across his arm. I don't know. I don't even know how many others are out there. We got things like people naming their children after Splinterlands cards. We have tattoos. We have houses that have been bought, cars, beds. I don't know if we've had Splinterlands hookups, but I imagine that somebody has screwed around with somebody in this community.
I mean, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, we got all kinds of shirts, all the things. I mean, we literally, there's not anything new under the sun that folks at Splinterlands haven't been able to go dig up, find, put on their body or something.
Did someone get a car wrap yet?
I heard that was coming. I don't know if that's done. I haven't seen pictures of Mav, or nobody sent that to me, so I haven't seen them yet.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for Splinterlands TV. We've been, I was on a bit of a hiatus, going to Splinterfest and all that. But Splinterlands TV just kept chugging along. Guys, we've got more and more content. We got more streamers that are coming up probably this week or maybe next week. We do have some open slots available. If you guys go to splinterlands.tv/info, you can go to the spot that says how to become a streamer. And right in there, you can fill out the form to get in the waiting list to become a streamer if you see a slot that is open and you want to fill. But that's it for me.
Rock on. Thanks, Ron. Why don't you send us back to the whatever remaining team members we have, and then let's go through some of the pre-sorted questions, and then we'll open this up to everybody. All right, liquidity provider rewards. Can we reduce DEC being distributed via LPs? DEC is getting further from PEG, not closer, and we continue to mint a large amount per month for LPs. I'm not perfectly convinced that that's the right call, but I don't think I'm going to stand in the way of that as a proposal. I think maybe we should start with a post about it, and then see if see if the people are in favor of that or not, and then pending what the feedback is on the post, maybe we decide if that's something that we want to do as a proposal or not. To me, it's one of the it's like unintended consequences of crypto, that sometimes when you do one thing, you get the opposite effect. And my thought is that some of those DEC rewards are actually incentivizing people to buy and hold at DEC. And if we get rid of them, that might actually be bad. So, but I don't know. And and it's not just my call. So let's get a discussion going and see what people think about that discussion. Why are we not able to stake LP tokens on PancakeSwap and still qualify for SPS rewards? People are missing out on additional yield for no reason. Because the LP rewards in the white paper and the staking rewards in the white paper are different. And you get different returns and there's different risks. So those two things are just separate from each other. When does the USA airdrop occur? We're getting pretty close on that. So no specific day, but that's all getting coded up. Same thing with Lux Vega. So that shop page is being worked on and should be going live. I'm hoping that those things are a matter of like weeks, not months. So that should be here hopefully pretty soon. Is Lux Vega going to be the only neutral summoner, or could we see more? I don't think we're going to be seeing lots of neutral summoners. That's a pretty powerful promo thing that we want to keep in reserve. I could see if you're like I'm sort of leaning towards like maybe the champion of the Splinterfest tournament might be another neutral summoner. I feel like that could be a good one. But generally speaking, that's not going to be like a regular card in a regular edition. That's going to be like some pretty rare promo kind of thing that we do. Runi, can we get a list of all possible Runi parts with drop rate rarity for each? Is that something that you guys have, Nate, or the developers that work with Nate for that?
That would definitely be a very large, I don't know, what would that be? Like a huge poster? Like it would have like, there are so many traits though. It would be like, and then what's cool is each trait, like let's say there's like over 100 different heads or whatever. Our narratively Joey went and named each and every trait, hundreds and hundreds of traits. He named every single one. So it was very reflective of the lore and the world of Splinterlands, which is really cool. So maybe if there's a way to make a poster or something, or maybe a PDF that we put on the docs.splinterlands or the upcoming lore.splinterlands. Yeah, I mean, I'd be totally up for that. In the meantime, here's a slide we showed at Splinterfest for those of you who weren't there. It's not what you're talking about, but it's your consolation prize, the different traits that
headwear,
will be composed
head,
of.
body, weapon, core, and background. So yeah, there's six different main ones. And I hear you on the, we can't necessarily just put a list of like 600 terms in here. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Thanks for being that like particular about details and sticking with the lore. I think that's gonna, as people sort of like over time catch more and more of what we're doing and how all these things are tied to like story arcs and themes and like a world that we built, and they can see that in a variety of different places. I think there's going to be a lot of people where it dawns on them like over many years of like, wow, wait, that's connected to this. Yes. Wow. Yeah. I think they'll be, I don't think it'll hit them right away. But I think it will get them.
I'll see what we can do creatively. We'll try to come up with some. In the meantime, when we go to mint on OpenSea, just keep in mind that there are going to be breakdowns of how many are existence for any particular trait and all that stuff, just like you would normally see on OpenSea. So there will be some sort of way to kind of like gauge how good of a trait or how scarce it is anyways.
All right. All right, this is like a bit of a comment. I understand the desire to appeal to the Ethereum whales, but what is the plan to actually convert them to players once you get their attention? One Runi card alone isn't going to help them much in the game. I feel like there is a missed opportunity here to use mint royalty fees to provide Runi owners with some sort of new player package to properly get them started playing the game. yeah, I hear I can hear that. My thought is let's get this thing started and see what kind of interest we get. We're gonna form some nice partnerships, it looks like, and I think we're gonna get a fair amount of attention. And with that attention, we're hoping that just a little bit of awareness of what we're doing and like showing people how they could log in with Ethereum should go a long way. So I don't, we'll have to see. But then the next piece that like once we can do this for Runi, we can do this with other PFP projects. So it's possible that the way that we'll bring in other PFP projects is by promising them utility in Splinterlands that they can't get anywhere else. And then the question is, what are they paying or what are we giving up to make something like that happen? And we'll have to take that, group by group and or come up with some large plan or scheme for that. But all of that is like, step one is just let's see if we get the interest that we think we're going to get from this. Like right now, 100 different PFP project communities have been pitched on this, and it looks like the interest is super high. Let's see if it's actually super high, and then we can figure out how much of our time and attention we want to put to this. Upcoming DAO proposal. Why is Splinterlands not using the upcoming section of SPS proposals to post proposals that are in the discussion phase directly to the website? Well, the website isn't necessarily the official channel for like new things the same way that the blog is, but that's not a terrible idea. I guess we should kind of talk that through as a group and see if that's where we want to put it. But I don't know. It's just not the way that we formally communicate our writing pieces. Like the website is not like a great way to like collect feedback. It's a great place for voting, but it's not, there's no like forum that you can type on. So the discussions are really posted elsewhere. Maybe there can be a link to that discussion, but I don't think the discussion will be taking place on splinterlands.com. Has a team considered increasing the minimum rental fee to 1 DEC in order to prevent the abuse of renting only 1 BCX cards? Well, not all rentals of 1 BCX cards are abusive. So I don't see that as having a lot of like traction. But maybe if that's something that everybody in the community wants, maybe we do it differently. But I think, I just don't think that doing that would be super helpful. All right. It feels like every change coming to Splinterlands is just rewarding early investors and making it more and more expensive for new players to actually come play the game. When will we get something that rewards new players so that they can actually progress? Well, you guys get plenty of rewards for playing, and those things have value. That's not just like whales or not whales, OGs versus new players. It's just kind of like this game only works if there's an incentive for people to buy and hold and own cards. And so the more that you give out for free to people that don't do that, the less incentive that there is for buying, holding, and owning these things. So, this feels like a complaint. If you have a suggestion, we take suggestions on things that might improve that experience. But generally speaking, I think if we value the cards and make them difficult to attain, that's how you actually preserve the desirability of those cards, and ultimately that helps every player, not just the OGs or the whales. That's in everybody's best interest. And when you make it too easy to get and have and don't have to pay anything, that's when we devalue it for everybody, and that hurts everybody. And it's hard to pinpoint the exact spot where it is maximum efficiency, but I tend to be on the more conservative side rather than on the let's give everybody stuff for free side. Upcoming features and utility. Can we get an updated roadmap? Yeah, now that it's after Splinterfest, it's probably time to go do that and check in there. We need more quality of life updates. Are there any in the pipeline to get excited about? Yeah, there's a ton of them. I don't know. Let me get back to you on this. I'll talk more about this later. I want to go through, we have like an entire like planning piece, and it's been a couple of weeks since we've done planning, just because of Splinterfest. So let me see how tomorrow's drop goes or tomorrow's update goes and let's see what we cross off the list. And then based off of that, I can give you some better feedback for next week. So I want to punt that for 1 week. Voucher prices are crashing. Things like Rift Watchers and TD pack utility or licenses are nice, but they clearly just provide a quick pump and not enough sustained utility. When will we get more daily utility for vouchers? So we were talking about that in terms of the tournaments themselves. And, ultimately I don't think that this is like a permanent state of existence. This is not financial advice, but, we see a lot of the buying activity slow down when we're in bear markets. And it's, if there's not demand, us facilitating 8 billion more pack sales or something else isn't necessarily going to increase demand. So we need demand generation, and that's either coming from new players or old players that are looking to buy more assets. And that's hard to generate when you're like, hey, my rent just went up $600 this month, and my gas is twice as much, and there's food shortages. So sometimes that makes life difficult for players, and hopefully we'll find ourselves in better economic times soon. In the meantime, there's some of the smaller things like tournament fees and bloodstones that we're looking at. Miscellaneous, why can you get the cooldown info with your posting key but not with the posting authority? This makes third parties have to collect private keys that increase security concerns. I'm not up to date on that. Is anybody here familiar with that one particular piece? I'm going to punt on that one. Oh, somebody wants to answer?
Not particularly. That's something we'd have to look into.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to punt on that. I need somebody with more expertise than me on that particular point. Does Splinterlands, the company, have any memberships to any of the groups that are coming up with standards for metaverse interoperability? I learned of Upland and Vox and Gala working together this week, and wondering if Splinterlands is also working towards this interoperability goal. Yeah, that's part of the Blockchain Game Alliance, and we've been a part of that. I've had some discussions with them. I've been a little bit too busy to do much with them in the past month or two, but I can look at that again and see where they're at. Why are we forced to drop down a league every season? I got cards for the league I want to play in, and it's such a bad user experience to force me to go play in another league where I can't take advantage of the higher level cards I bought and play with ability stats that I'm not used to. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this game is proof of skill, proof of card quality, and it's also proof of time. And part of the way that we enforce proof of time is that you get kicked out of the league you're in, and then you have to go fight and rejoin it. This is not, just me versus you as one individual. This is the way that it works for everybody, and this is the way that it's advertised as working. So it's been like this for something like 3 years now. So it shouldn't be all that shocking to people that this is what they do. Bear with us. That's the way that this thing is going to operate, and everybody's under that same constraint. Ultimately, it's not good for us to just sort of let people stay, play one match in one league and stay there forever. Although, now that we have some of the different pools and they work differently, maybe it's okay these days. So, we could look at that, but I don't know. I wouldn't plan on that changing anytime soon. It's been like that for years. And then when is the first Ghost Card tournament that everyone can participate in? WeirdBeard, what's the date on that?
October 28th. You can go right now. In fact, I will get the link to the actual tournament and put it in the chat, but it's October 28th. All it costs is 20 SPS to enter. No need for stakes, no nothing else.
Sweet. That's the list of questions that I have in front of me. So let's open this up. We have something like 25 minutes for questions, and let's go bring it to the people and see what the people want to get answered. So I see, I think this is Virus. With the introduction of Ghost Card tournaments and SBS Brawl rewards, can we get an expansion of challenges to have Ghost Cards, Gladius, and Modern Wild split options? It would be great for competition to be able to practice.
I mean, there are a million things I'd like to do. As always, it's a matter of how much can we wiggle in when with what devs are already kind of working on? I'm an idiot, so all I do is do this at a keyboard. I'm not able to code or do any of the actual like fancy brainiac stuff. So I think what I will say, this is my non-political answer, is that there's a giant list of things that we want to do right now. And after Splinterfest, it's getting the people who are in charge of not only coding things, but prioritizing and deciding what goes where and what comes first, and saying what's going to happen and putting those things in a specific order. I hope within a month that I'd be able to come back here and say, hello, these are the next things that we're looking at for, brawls and ghost cards specifically that require back end development and not just, what I want to be doing. And here's the order that we're going to tackle them in. Because we still have outstanding stuff, like I mentioned earlier, of getting brawls updated to have Rift Watchers. And we've talked a couple of times now about being able to allow promo and reward cards into their specific, sets, and we still aren't able to do that. So there are not only outstanding things, but then these new things that we want to do. And I wish I was smart enough to say what should come first and what should happen before others. But that's the Brainiac's job, and I will continue to support them and help them make those decisions.
Yep. Can we change new account creation so new accounts are granted a single bronze chest upon spellbook purchase, with the chest being labeled as a new account chest instead of a quest or season something? This would allow us to track new player retention. I think we would need, let's ask that again when Hardpoint's on, and let's see if either Hardpoint or Matt have thoughts on that, or forward that question to them. Bitcoin Sig is saying ranked battles are currently cancer, where climbing the ranks requires very long win streaks. This highly favors people to bot because it favors playing 1,000 games to get a long win streak. Will the team be working on the ranked battles to not go up 10 points and lose 30? So, this is sort of in line with like lots of people saying that the ranked elo system needs another set of eyeballs. So I don't know, maybe the team that was working on the ranked rewards can look at, how would we want to revamp the elo system? I don't know that that's the next thing that we work on, but we should consider putting that in the queue. Fun question, not financial advice. If you can only invest in one asset in Splinterlands, what would it be and why? I find it impossible to do that. I like to own a little bit of everything. So, I love renting cards. I'm excited for the nodes and the decentralized aspect there. I have money in liquidity pools. You can't make me say which baby is my favorite. I like all of them. Let's see. Biz is asking me what are the downsides and risks of Aqualis DAO, but then he didn't link it to the post where the words were for some of that response. So if you could link that later down, I'd be happy to read it. Do you have a selection place where to hold the next Splinterfest? I hope Philippines will be considered. We have a community here in Philippines that would love to meet you guys in person. Shout out to the Philippines team, Mango Mayhem, Level Up PH, Damian Wolf, and 143 Mingmen. Philippines, let's go. Yeah, I mean, the second biggest buyer of cards by country for the people that pay in fiat are from the Philippines. So it's a thought, and it's also a large country that has a large, like already established understanding and really like an actual economy that's been built around play to earn gaming. So they got a little bit burned with one of the other games. So I don't know how open they are generally, but the fact that it was a thing is exciting to me. And I think that there's people that we could pick up there. So I'm open to it. When can we see tech modernization and non-card market being deployed? Please give us an answer in weeks. Tech modernization, the first phase got launched and then it got booted back into like break fix. And I think it's set to go out this week. So we're trying it again this week. And then we have other features that are going live, I think next week. This is another one where it's like, I don't mind answering this, but it's been a couple weeks since we've even had this meeting just because of Splinterfest. So my request is let's do this next week and we can kind of walk through where are we. But we are currently trending towards 1025. So like the first part of tech modernization should be going live again tomorrow, and then non-card market and some of the other parts of tech modernization I think are the week after. But again, I haven't had that meeting and I'm not certain that that's true, but that's at least where we were targeting. Next question, Steve at, is it possible to add 5 to 10 minutes grace period after renting a card to cancel? I have on many occasions rented the wrong card, duplicate, and by accident, only to not be able to cancel it literally seconds after the transaction goes through, and you have to wait until the next day or days. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Once you sign a contract, it should probably be set up like that. I don't know. I don't feel particularly strongly for that one, but I'll see if there are other folks that have strong feelings about that. Will there be a plan creating physical Splinterlands in a board game setup? So Nate revealed at Splinterfest a game called Monosurge. I would love to launch Monosurge and actually get that into the world, but I think that's more of like a bull market thing rather than a bear market thing. So, when we have a little bit more resources and some people that, we can spare to do that, that would be a good and fun time to do that. In part, some people are going to be like, why would you do this stupid board game? Because there's always somebody that you just takes the complete negative position. But to me, if we have physical products, we can get into physical stores. And so when you go to like buy your comic book or go to a board game or hang out with Blewett in New Jersey, he would have something for Splinterlands that he can sell that aren't just like the digital products. And that means that people can meet in person. These things can be in a home. They can be around your coffee table. And even if it doesn't bring Splinterlands a dime, even if we sold it like right at cost, this would be a way to go, get us into physical stores, and that would be good. Any timeline on Transact and Simple Swap being available again? I don't know. That's the meeting that I have tomorrow that I can get caught up on these things. So you'll please give me another week before I can tell you when this, when that. There was talk of requiring players to have staked SPS to collect rewards. Has this plan been scrapped or is it still a go? I thought this was a great idea. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. The only problem is that we don't have SPS delegation. So it's to me, it is a showstopper to force people to own large amounts of SPS if there's no staking or like SPS delegation available. Once that becomes available, then I'm on board with it. But until then, I'm not. And I know that SPS delegation is in some form of programming. And that's one of these things that we might have to double or even triple code, because we'll do once without validators, once with validators, once as validators get pushed further along. It's like it's a big pain in the butt to figure out how that'll work. But once we have delegation, then yeah, I'm going to push for SPS staking requirements. Question on the proposal page on the main Splinterlands website. Can we have a link to the discussion threads when new proposals come out? Yeah, somebody else asked that. I'm not opposed to links, but I don't think that you'll get discussion there. Cryptoeater saying he's still on stream. Cryptoeater, are you there? Can you speak? Oh, they can't hear him. We'd have to. I'll come back to this. Let me go read this. A stablecoin DPEG is definitely a big risk. We do have contingency plans to manage this, though, and we believe as stablecoins become more mature and regulated, it's less likely to happen. A DAO level hack would probably be the worst case scenario. However, we plan to utilize full audits before launch, including game theory audits, to ensure our smart contracts and token can't be exploited for profit. And just in case this isn't clear, this is back to Byzantinus' question of, can I read stuff about the DAO that we were talking about, Aqualis DAO. In terms of using the platform, anything with lending is risky due to liquidation risks, but we do plan to launch an Aqualis Academy to educate users how to use it responsibly. In fact, one use case is if a user is bullish on Ethereum, but they want to buy Splinterlands cards to take advantage of the high rental market, they can deposit Ethereum on Aqualis DAO, borrow stable coins, and use those cards so that they have exposure to Ethereum and Splinterlands cards without selling Ethereum. But if ETH goes down, they could potentially get liquidated and lose all their Ethereum. So responsible lending is very important. Yeah, these are like full degen platforms. So just be careful out there if you end up doing stuff like this. Other questions. When will the mobile app be updated? So the mobile app is sort of waiting on some of the SBS validator code, the tech modernization, phase 1, and maybe even phase 2. You know, ultimately we want that code base to be combined, but we can't do it yet because we have to like recode parts of it. So it's on the list. I can't give you an exact day, but you know, making that mobile experience better is one of the priorities of this company. But you know, kind of like land, we're just stuck with like, well, if we want to do this the right way, here are all the prerequisites that we have to do, and it's a bit of a monster. So you guys are going to look at me and be like, why aren't you idiots doing anything? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And I'm gonna be announcing like feature after feature, and you guys won't get it or won't care. And then one day the like mobile app will be 10 times better, and you'll be like, why did it take you so long? And I'm gonna have to say, because there were a million prereqs that we had to do to make it good. So I don't know. It's the kind of thing that's already being worked on. You guys just won't see it for a while. And that's I got to the end of questions. That's amazing. Maybe you guys will have more questions. It's a little bit smaller of an audience. Can we give the team some props for Splinterlands security in the cryptocurrency space? Other than not going to say his crap name or mention that chain, but we pushed on to Safu. Yeah. Thanks, Shu. Okay. I don't know. Ron, can we pull Cryptoeater back on? Yeah, that's good. All right. Cryptoeater, are you there?
Yes, I am. Been listening this whole time.
Yeah, so my plan, I guess, is we should bring you back maybe in a couple months when like everything is up and running and moving along. I don't know, anything else that you want to kind of say, or you know, there have been a couple questions about Aqualis DAO, but we don't have too long, but if there's a couple minutes of things that you wanted to share, I'd be happy to put that back on the radar.
Yeah, sure, thanks. So yeah, at the start, honestly, when we were just having a chat and a bit of an introduction, I thought that was just an introduction. I didn't realize that was the actual segment. So I do appreciate you letting me come back on just for a few minutes. I guess, honestly, I just wanted to talk a bit about our ecosystem and how that relates to the Splinterlands ecosystem. So you mentioned earlier that there's not a lot, like typically with the DAO side of things, Splinterlands doesn't really operate on Ethereum. However, with the Runi sale, we are trying to kind of tap into that market. And I believe having a actual protocol or product on the Ethereum blockchain that's somewhat associated with Splinterlands. We don't have a formal, partnership with the company, but a lot of our user base, like early user base, is directly from the Splinterlands community. I myself was pretty much like born here. Ever since I got into crypto, I've been part of the Splinterlands community, and none of this would be possible without SPS, going up, and I would have never really got into DeFi without exposure to SPS anyway. So one of our like overarching goals in the long term will always to be bring value and community members back into the Splinterlands ecosystem. But of course, we need a little bit of help getting that set up from the start. And we do have a whitelist sale going on at the moment if anyone is interested. So we are actually trying to fundraise about $180,000. And token prices do start at 18 cents for our whitelist sale. And they do go up to around 25 cents for our public sale. So if anyone's interested in that, they can definitely join our Discord to find out a bit more. And in terms of utility, like what the platform actually brings to Splinterlands for users using it, well, the first thing is if someone wants to trade between stablecoins, we are planning to offer the lowest fees in DeFi. We're actually testing our smart contracts internally at the moment, and we're not quite there yet in terms of competing with the likes of Curve and 1inch. They do offer slightly better fees, slightly lower fees, I should say, but we do have plans to adjust our parameters just to ensure that we can pretty much always offer the best deals around. And in terms of risk, we actually, so I mentioned earlier in one of the replies to Byzantinist, you can use this platform to essentially increase risk by depositing Ethereum and borrowing stable coins. But there are a lot of ways to do this. For example, you could deposit Ethereum and borrow Bitcoin, and then use your Bitcoin to buy cards. So essentially, what you're doing is you have a long position on Ethereum, a short position on Bitcoin. That usually has quite a close market correlation anyway. And then in that case, you can go ahead and buy cards with pretty much an exposure to Ethereum and a negative exposure to Bitcoin, thus, balancing out your portfolio a bit. If you're bullish on something like SPS, but you're actually very bearish on the market, this is something I personally do. You can take out a loan in BNB and then buy SPS with it. So you don't really care if SPS go up and down. All you care about is if SPS outperforms BNB, and not financial advice, but personally, I like to think it will. So yeah, I've taken out quite a substantial loan in BNB with stablecoin collateral and used that to buy some SPS. And these are all different strategies that people can, I guess, utilize to make the most out of their capital. And we do plan on launching a Aqualis Academy, which we want to go through all of these things, how our platform specifically fits into every DeFi user's journey, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, a short overall spiel. I had like a 10-minute, 15-minute speech prepared, but honestly, it's probably better to do this kind of Q&A thing because I don't think anyone can pay attention for that long.
Yeah, these are we're all like phone dependent humans. You get like 60 seconds at best.
Exactly.
But this definitely sounds to me like a full degen platform. And if you're looking for a full degen platform with kind of like high capital efficiency, this seems like a place that you might explore. My one piece of advice was try not to get wrecked. That would be that's my basic gist. But I did want to give you another second to just sort of like talk about this thing because we had a few minutes left in the show. But I want to go back to the team. There's like a handful more questions, but just wanted to say again, thanks for coming on, and we'll interested to see how this the whole DAO plays out, and watch the growth of your platform too.
Yeah, thanks, Aggie, and thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. All right. So I have a handful more questions. So I have just 3. How much do you love the team and the community? Of course, he knows that I'm just like living in service of this team and this community. Can Lux Vega be sold for DEC at peg value? I know that we're going to accept some vouchers as payment. I don't know if we're paying in DEC, but I like this. Like some of the deals that we did were like, pretty big dollar value. And when you're doing pretty big dollar value, like people get freaked out of like, well, I don't really want to spend $100,000 in DEC because just doing that will move the peg and you get into all this crap. But if you're just doing stuff for like, a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, you don't really move the peg that much. So that's exciting. That would certainly cut down some revenue to the business, but that would help the DEC price and community overall. So I think I'm in favor of that. Can we see a castle or keep? Nate, I know that was something that was on your radar at least a little. Do you have people working on castles or keeps so that they can get a thought of like what would they actually own or what would that look like?
Sure. I know at Splinterfest during the Q&A, that's something I think Neal was the one who asked about castles and keeps. And so I had punted to the VIP dinner that evening to show him like concept art that I hadn't even reviewed yet, but Tyler, one of the lead creative coordinator, tossed it my way and says, well, we have something to show. So I can show what I showed Neal and some of the VIP or VIP folks at the dinner there. Just know that big subject to change. Like this is, it's not even finished. It was like, hey, let's kind of mock up something really fast, some concept art. And this was a result of that. So here, big hats off to Nick, one of our artists who took it upon himself to try to conceptualize what it might look like in a deed, a big old honking castle, right? So there you go.
Nice. Nice.
I like the giant concept across it.
Yeah, you definitely need the concept word so that everybody knows that this thing is subject to change and don't hold us to this. And, you know, the world will be entirely different in a week from now. But,
There you go.
But I think that people like this. This seems like a great, like, starting point. I guess my only beef with it is that it doesn't look like a starting point. You know, that looks like a mid-tier or maybe even late-tier castle. I want to know what, like, you know, I see a lot of leveling up for these castles. So I want to know, like, if you're a scrub pretending to be a duke or something, you know, what's your scrub castle look like? You know, you have like one little tower and like a half broken arch or something.
Yeah, Nate,
I
can
will
you
say
make that work?
even though it's not phase 1, there's a lot of discussion about what phase 2 and phase 3 are going to look like. And part of the discussions have to revolve around how much is your tract or region community going to be beholden to what happens on this keep and castle. And so we were debating whether keeps and castles should have levels by virtue of the fact that, well, what if someone just stops playing and they are the keeper castle owner, and suddenly the rest of the region or tract suffers as a result of them not being present, and so, or leveling up their building or whatever it is. So there's a lot of a protection and layers of protection that we're putting in place to make sure that the keep and castle owners still benefit quite a bit, but at the same time, not by sacrificing the community and what they might be trying to achieve in their little neighborhoods and stuff like that. So we're still debating the back and forth on that, but we'll see whether or not keeps and castles level or don't level. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about your like slumlord castle owner. You know, like, I'm gonna put the bare minimum into this. I don't even care. I don't know. There's gotta be we'll see what that all looks like. You know, you guys are gonna work together and we'll figure it out. I think that's it for tonight. I think this is pretty good. I think we've had a good experience. You know, the team is now like literally just trying to like, I'm sure that there's a handful of us that are just now sobering up after Vegas. But we're back in the office, we're working, we're doing the right stuff, and you know, trying to get back in the saddle. You know, I'll have more updates about where we're at after tomorrow when we can see what actually made it into production. You know, because we're basically combining a couple weeks of stuff into the release tomorrow, which is why it's going to be like a 3-hour long maintenance window. So you guys should expect, like, you know, this is one where it's going to be down for a bit. And that's not a sign of like, oh God, everything's broken. It's literally just, we have so much code that we're trying to ship that it actually takes a long time to put all this stuff out there. So we'll see how all these different updates go and what that looks like. Yeah, and a lot of folks have been, you know, sick too. So they're not just like sobering up, but they you know, got to get Vegas like decontamination and out of their system. So expect a big downtime tomorrow. On Wednesday, I should get a nice update in terms of like, where are we on all the things? And I can use that to start informing the community again when I'm like a little bit more in the loop. And literally all of us are back in the loop in terms of what's going live, when, why, and how we're doing it all. But you know, hopefully you guys are seeing you know, just how much stuff we're doing, and pretty excited about that. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for supporting us. And you know, I'm really grateful to this team and to this community. I think we're making awesome stuff, and it should be to the benefit of all of us. So it's been a long bear market. Hopefully it ends before too long. Maybe we'll just get World War III and it'll all be terrible, but here's hoping for a world that's more filled with peace, prosperity, and freedom than what we currently have. And I'm excited to work with you guys as we keep rolling out changes, products, and hopefully you're as excited as we are about all the things we're working on. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you around in the Splinterlands.